Father Frank Reale, Vice President for Mission Ministry and VP of the Madrid campus, is here to do that for us, and we're very grateful for that. I also know before we move to the blessing of the building, would like to recognize a couple of people, and I know I can't recognize everybody, but I really want to say thank you and express my deep appreciation to Catherine Krakovic and Jeff Hovey and Terry Perry from our respective groups for all the work that went into organizing the move and making sure that we all got in here safely, and I think it looks relatively wonderful. We haven't been here for a couple of weeks, so with that, I'd like to turn it over to Father.
Thanks. So the best news so far is you have heat in this building. I hope there's heat in other parts of the building as well. I'm sorry, I don't know what the acoustics are like in this room, but if you can't hear me, yell. I love history, and I love the history of St. Lachute, and you may know this anyway, but this is the first time I've ever been in this building, but I remember seeing it being constructed. And it was constructed here, not, of course, as a St. Louis University building, but as a state office building. But Father Paul Reinhardt, the then president of the university, was absolutely instrumental in getting this building built, constructed with his contacts, and it was part of a larger development of the area. And in those days, quite honestly, I think those who were invested in the well-being and the future of the university were almost as excited about the fact that this building, even though not our own, was going up as if it were a building that belonged to us. So now it belongs to us, or it belongs to you. I've been back. I spent a lot of time in Madrid, and I came back right before Christmas. And one of the great things is that St. Louis is my home. And over the holidays, I spent time with my two brothers and their families. One of my brothers, who for 30 years, he and his wife lived in Bridgeton, have just moved out to another location. I don't know why they did this on New Year's Eve. I think they're crazy. But they moved out there, and I was thinking about their experience of moving after so many years and what it means to move a home. They have 2 adult kids, but they were all there the night I was there. And of course, in part, it's the hassle of the move, it's the packing up, it's the sorting things out, it's getting rid of stuff that you probably should have gotten rid of 10, 20 years ago, but you just kind of kept collecting. Maybe you did some of that, got rid of all the financial records or something, I don't know. As long as you brought the computers, right? Yeah, that's right. All right. And so, you know, moving is a hassle, but there's also something kind of neat about it. And I was talking to my brother and sister-in-law, Tom and Margaret, about this, because even looking at things and moving gives rise to memories. And memories often give rise to gratitude. And places are really, really important in our experience. Places are holy. That's why churches are holy, because people make them holy, because of what we do in them and what we associate with them. Now, I realize an office building, especially known right now, do we call it the Lindell Office Building or just the Lindell Building? I mean, okay, it's not a very sexy title, and someday it can change. I realize an office building is not a home, but it is in some ways. And if you think about it, you spend more waking hours, I think it's fair to say, probably more waking hours now in this building than you do in your actual homes, all right? The time you spend in your actual homes is more important, but in terms of just time, and there's a sense in which this does become a place of identity, which is exactly what a home does. And that's why it's hard sometimes to move. We let go, or we fear we're letting go of one identity. We're moving into something that's unfamiliar. So part of what I thought we should just pray for today is that our identities at our best, whether it's with IT or budget and finance or HR, more importantly, our identity as people who are committed to St. Louis University and to being of major assistance in having it live out its mission, which all of us, I call myself, Bob and and Tim and Ken know this, I call myself a bureaucrat. I mean, that's my particular ministry, is not to do the teaching or the research or the service, but to be a bureaucrat who makes other things, helps to make other things happen. And I think that's largely our job descriptions. And it's a holy activity. And what we want to do is pray that everything that animated us in the old places of where we used to be and where we used to be home now get moved here. And so that this place does become home. Don't worry, the blessing's very short. The introduction. The other thing is that we're going to bless, and I'm going to sprinkle some water. I'm not quite sure where. Maybe on this pillar. I'm not quite sure yet where. But I'll sprinkle some holy water. And we talk about blessing a building, but it's not really about blessing physical objects. It's about blessing the people who use physical objects. And that's really where the blessing lies. Whether it's a medal or a statue or something in Catholic tradition about blessing an object, it's not that the object itself becomes holy, or at least not by itself. It only becomes holy because of the activity and the reverence in some cases, the value that we as human beings give it. So this place will become holy, and I'm going to use that language to the degree that you make it holy, who are the people here, by the way that you, don't mean to sound preachy, but by the way you relate to each other, by the way that you relate to the people who are served by your activities. That's what will make this place holy. And we symbolize that by blessing the building, and I'll sprinkle a little bit, but by blessing ourselves and praying that God's Spirit, the Spirit that animates our work and our lives and the mission of St. Louis University, will be the Spirit that inhabits and really takes over this building. And I'm sure that's already happening. If I had one kind of hope, I don't know how well you all got to know each other where you used to be, and I know we come from different places, but I just say in a large institution like our own, where there's always the challenge of having kind of tunneling and narrow vision, I really hope that you will get to know each other and the richness of each other in the process of making this your home, because homes are also about relationships as well as about identity. So with that long introduction, let me just pray more briefly. Loving God of this new year, 2010, we always walk in mystery and into mystery. We face the future not knowing what the days or the months will bring to us or how we will always respond. But as we journey forward, let love always be our guiding principle. May we welcome all who come our way in our work and in our labor, and deepen our faith so that we can see others as you see them. Fill us with hope and with an abiding trust that you will dwell in us and therefore dwell here, amidst whatever our joys and our sorrows may be. Thank you for the gift of life and for bringing us together. Thank you for the gift of working together. Bless this day and all of our days. Especially bless all of our human labor, the work of our hands and the work of our minds. Grant that all who plan and who conduct business in this place may, through your guidance and support, come to good decisions, right decisions, and carry them out faithfully. All this we ask in your name. Amen. Amen. So we bless the Lindell Building and pray that all that takes place here will be to God's glory and God's blessing. Especially these three. Thank you very much for giving me hospitality and being able to come here, and on nicer days, maybe I'll cross the street more often.
Everybody, thank you. And again, maybe this, as Frank says, is a great opportunity just to maybe turn to your left, turn to your right, find somebody you don't recognize, and introduce yourself. Welcome.